you're ready to start a new life in Spain, the two most popular visas are the Digital Nomad Visa and the Non-Lucrative Visa. And despite the requirements listed on the internet, it's actually quite challenging to decide which one is right for your specific situation. I run a relocation company called Move to Europe, and one thing we see all the time is people coming to us convinced that, for example, the non-lucrative visa is the perfect choice for them. But once we really dig into their case, looking at their income sources, lifestyle goals, and long-term plans, they often realize that going that route would have been a big mistake. That's why in this video, we're going to go deeper into how the Digital Nomad Visa and the Non-Lucrative Visa differ, what the pros and cons of each one are, and how to figure out which visa is truly right for you and your family. And to make things easier for you, I've also created two free checklists, one for the Digital Nomad Visa and the other one for the Non-Lucrative Visa. You'll find the download links in the description below, so be sure to grab those before you start planning. Now, let's dive in. Let's start with the income requirement. The key difference between these two visas is that the Digital Nomad Visa allows you to work remotely with foreign companies while living in Spain, and it also allows your spouse to work. The Digital Nomad Visa is meant to show active current remote work. You'll need to have a work contract that has a duration of at least a year, allows you to work remotely from Spain, and shows that your monthly income is at least 2,763 euros for a solo applicant. To qualify for a couple, you need to show more, at least 3,800 euros. Note that the household income can't be combined. This income should be coming just from the main applicant. The non-lucrative visa, on the other hand, strictly doesn't allow any active work. So if you're getting social security income or a pension or a disability payments, passive rental income, royalties, or you just have substantial savings and can prove where they come from, then you might qualify for the non-lucrative visa. Each year, the financial requirement can change, and right now it's 28,800 euros for one person and 36,600 for a couple. The income can be proven either with bank statements if you already have this money in your bank account, or with social security letters or any public documents that would show how much are you getting on a monthly basis and that you're entitled to continue getting them in the future as well. That being said, if you plan on working while in Spain, or even if you're planning to freelance and have a few gigs, you still need to go the DNV route. Going with the non-lucrative visa means proving where your money comes from. Consulates have become very strict with this, and some are now even asking 12 months of bank statements, not just for the main applicant, but of your partner as well, which doesn't make any sense at all. With the Digital Nomad Visa, it's easier to prove the financial requirement, provided that you have your own company or you work for a company that brings you predictable income that meets the required amount and less paperwork is needed. Now let's talk about the application process. The Digital Nomad Visa has a huge advantage. You can apply for it from Spain on a tourist visa. The process is incredibly fast, with an official processing time of just 20 business days. And if you don't hear back in that time, you can apply for positive administrative silence, and that means your visa gets automatically approved. Now compare that to the non-lucrative visa. For the NLV, you must apply from the Spanish consulate in your home country. This means waiting, often for months, for an approval before you can even think about moving. Appointments at the consulates currently are very difficult to get. The applications are often handled by a third-party company called BLS, and each consulate has its own slightly different rules, which can be incredibly confusing. You are required to go to the consulate that has jurisdiction over where you live. If you live, for example, in Colorado, the designated consulate is in Los Angeles, so you could be facing a long and expensive trip just to submit your paperwork, and that's if you can even find an appointment in the first place. In fact, my team recently spoke with a family who gave up on the non-lucrative visa after traveling twice to the San Francisco consulate. Every time something came up and they were unable to get an appointment. This was before they started working with with us, but after jumping on a call with my team and learning they could qualify for the Digital Nomad Visa, they went that route. And now we're helping them secure it much more quickly and easily. By the way, if you're in a similar situation and need a clear path forward, you can book a call with me and my team using the link in the description. So for speed, convenience, and the simpler application process, the Digital Nomad Visa is the clear winner in this category. Let's move on to the next point, which is getting residency and eventual citizenship. In terms of initial residency, the DNV gives you a significant head start. If you apply from within Spain, you are granted 3 years of residency right away. And after 3 years, you can renew it for another 2 years. The NLV, on the other hand, grants an initial residency of just 1 year, which you then have to renew for 2-year periods. This means you'll need to show double the income requirement when you renew it. So if you're using savings to qualify instead of passive income, you'll need to show 2 years worth of savings instead of just 1 year when it comes time to renew. But the good things is that the time spent on either visa counts toward the 5 years required for permanent residency. And for citizenship, both also count toward the standard 10-year requirement. And don't forget, if you or your spouse are a citizen of an Ibero-American country like Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, or almost any country in South America or Central America, that timeline is fast-tracked to just 2 years. So the DNV gives you a longer initial residency period, and you only need to renew it once in a 5-year period instead of twice like the NLV, which means less paperwork and bureaucracy overall. But for long-term goals like permanent residency and citizenship, both visas can get you there. Now, when it comes to rights for your spouse and family, there is another huge advantage for the Digital Nomad Visa. With the DNV, the spouse of the main applicant is legally permitted to work in Spain with almost no restrictions. In fact, your spouse actually has more work flexibility than you do. As the main applicant, only 20% of your income can come from Spanish sources. That rule doesn't apply to your family members. So your spouse is completely free to get a local job or work for Spanish clients if they choose. This is a major benefit for professional couples. With a non-lucrative visa, as the name implies, non-lucrative means no work is permitted for you or your spouse. And while some people used to work remotely under the table, the government got much stricter about this in May of this year, so it's officially not allowed. It's also worth noting that the Digital Nomad Visa still allows you to add dependent parents to your application, while the non-lucrative visa no longer allows that since the new changes in May this year. We actually had a client who was planning to apply for the non-lucrative visa with her elderly parents as dependents, but then this new law came out that prevented parents from being added to NLV applications as dependents. Luckily, in her case, she was able to qualify for the Digital Nomad Visa, which still allows parents to be added, so we switched to that. So for professional couples where both partners may want the option to work, the Digital Nomad Visa gives you that freedom, while the non-lucrative visa doesn't. The next thing we'll cover is taxes. With the Digital Nomad Visa, if you're applying as a contractor or business owner, you are required to register as autónomo, which is Spain's tax setup for self-employed workers. This is a key step because it officially makes you as a tax resident, and you will be paying Spanish income tax on your worldwide income. With a non-lucrative visa, you are not required to register as autónomo, but you will still become a tax resident after spending 183 days in the country. You must declare your worldwide assets and pay taxes on any passive income sources like investments, social security, or rental properties. One thing to keep in mind with both of these visas is that if you're a US citizen, you are still required to file taxes in the US. The good news is that there is a double taxation treaty between the US and Spain, and since the taxes in Spain are generally a bit higher, you can typically deduct 100% of your US tax burden so that you are not double taxed. Whichever visa you choose, keep in mind that after living 183 days in Spain, you will become a tax resident and you will be required to pay taxes on any income you earn while in Spain. The DNV involves an extra step of autonomous registration, while with the NLV, you will still have to pay tax on any passive income you earn. Expert tax advice is critical for both paths. And finally, let's talk about insurance. For the non-lucrative visa, you are required to purchase a private Spanish health insurance plan for your entire family as a condition of the visa. It has to be a comprehensive plan with full coverage and no deductibles or co-payments. For the digital nomad visa, it depends on how you apply. If you apply as an employee of a foreign company, you also need private health insurance. And as a contractor, you do not need to purchase private insurance for the visa itself. Instead, after the digital nomad visa is approved, you will be required to enroll in the Spanish social security system and make monthly payments. These payments can range depending on your income, but the good news is that they are capped. So regardless of how much you earn, you won't be required to pay more than about 605 euros per month, and that's if you are in the highest income bracket, making over 6,000 euros per month. Keep in mind that this only applies after a year of living in Spain. For the first year, you can get a special deduction as an autonomo, meaning you'll pay a reduced flat rate of just 80 euros per month. Being required to pay into Social Security might sound like a major downside, but it also comes with a huge advantage. By making contributions to Social Security system, you gain access to free public healthcare for you, your spouse, and your children. This gives you the peace of mind of knowing your family is protected, which is one of the main reasons so many Americans move to Spain in the first place. Many Americans pay more than this for insurance in the US, so when you take that into account, it's not as bad as you might think. And when you factor in the 40% lower cost of living in Spain compared to most major cities in America, your money still goes much further here, even when taking taxes and social security contributions into account. So in conclusion, which visa is better? To make it simple, choose the digital nomad visa if you are a remote worker, freelancer, or business owner who needs to actively earn an income. You value a faster, stress-free visa application process and don't want to go through your home consulate and spend months waiting. You also want your spouse to also have work rights in Spain, and you want access to public healthcare for your whole family. Choose the non-lucrative visa if you are unable to qualify for the digital nomad visa, but you have sufficient savings or passive income to support your family without working, and you are able to plan your move months in advance. The truth is, we always advise our clients that if you can qualify for the digital nomad visa, we recommend going that route. It's objectively the superior visa, and it has many advantages over the non-lucrative visa, including the right to work, access to public healthcare, a simpler, faster application process that can be done directly within Spain, and is granted for 3 years instead of just one. That being said, the non-lucrative visa is still a great option for retirees who aren't planning to do any work while living in Spain. Now, while the choice might seem clear, the execution is complex. Navigating the specific documentation, proving your income correctly, or handling the tax implications are where families get stuck. So if you're planning on moving to Spain within the next 6 months and are ready to get a clear, personalized roadmap for your family's move, you can book a consultation call with my team. On the call, we'll review your specific situation and create a step-by-step plan to make your dream of moving to Spain a reality. The link is in the description below. And to help you get started, I've created comprehensive, up-to-date checklists for both the digital nomad visa and the non-lucrative visa. They break down every single document you will need. You can download them for free using the links in the description to see exactly what's required. Now that you know which visa might be for you, you can click here to watch my video on the new changes for the Digital Nomad Visa and the Non-Lucrative Visa here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Hasta pronto!